Welcome back to Season 2 of Sailing Sitka. We are Jay and Kenna, two young Canadians who stepped outside the box of comfort and decided to act on their ambitions of sailing around the world. We first set sail from Victoria, BC, Canada, and have been adventuring around Mexico ever since. In this season, we'll be sailing on, further south and closer towards our dreams of exploring everywhere the sea touches. So sit back, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. We have spent the last 3 days at sea sailing 350 nautical miles from Zihuatanejo. Now we are coming up on the morning of day 4, just about to arrive at our destination of Huatulco, which, in hindsight, we were far too excited to drop the hook in.
All right, guys, we have made it. This is Huatulco. We're about 6 miles away. So we're just puttering along. We had to slow ourselves down around 4 a.m. just because we're gonna get here before sunrise. So as you can see, it's just about to be sunrise here. So I just woke up Kenna. She's gonna come and we're gonna drop the main, get ready for entering. This Anchorage has like mixed information on it. It says you can anchor there, but some comments say we're asked to move. So I'm gonna check it out. Hopefully we can stay for a little bit because I'm looking forward to sleeping a bit. But yeah, we'll drop the hook and show you guys what it looks like. One thing's for sure, we're gonna need to get some diesel because we motored a lot more during this trip than we thought. Day 2 was like super awesome, like tons of wind, awesome sailing. Day 1 was okay, and yesterday was like very fluky. We got maybe like 6 hours of sailing yesterday, and that's it. And then the rest was like starting at 6-7 p.m. It was motoring up till now, which is like coming up on 6:30 a.m. now. So lots of motoring. So yeah, we'll need to top off the diesel. But yeah, the sea state though is like flat. And right now there's a tiny bit of an breeze coming from shore, but not enough really to do anything, but just helped us motor sail. We're like at really low RPM, which is nice though. We haven't had to like run the engine hot or high that much. All right, that's enough blabbering on here. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Just went through a school of something. All right, we are about to come in here. I look like a rat because I'm tired. Yeah, it's the butt crack of dawn right now, and we're exhausted. And we're about to come into this port here, into Huatulco, and we're really excited to drop the hook and probably go back to bed for a little bit. Sailing can be so exhausting sometimes, but really worth it to be showing up to a new place. It's always the best feeling in the world.
Second last sail of the season. It is a crazy feeling to think of how far we've come this season. Almost all of Mexico, which is just insane. We're not ready for it to end, that's for 100% sure. So believe it or not, cruise ships actually come into this port, and there used to never be a cruise ship dock, sorry, right there, and then they just installed it. So you used to be able to anchor in this entire bay. Now us little cruisers got pushed to this tiny little anchorage that nobody's even in. Yep. 7 down, Jay says. I'm gonna get ready to drop here.
All right, well, this is not my favorite anchorage so far for obvious reasons. I guess this used to be like where they have it fenced off now for like this private resort swimming thing was the old Anchorage on the chart anyways. And you used to be able to anchor here, but they added like that cruise ship pier, and they tell people to anchor to the right, but if you can tell, it's like jacked full of pangas and fishing boats. There's absolutely no way to anchor there, and if you anchor on this side, then they make you move. So yeah, we'll see. There's like things written on the charts saying that if you're here, they'll ask you to move sometimes. Josh said he anchored here last year, I think, and he was fine, but as you can tell, like it's very close to everything. Like there's a green marker there, green marker there. Those two actually mark stuff. These two, this one marks absolutely nothing. Except that it gets shallower, but not really that shallow. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, we have 140 feet down plus a bridle, so 160 feet right now in about 33 feet. So it bit good. Yeah, okay. Kenna's the one who sees the bite because I'm at the helm there.
I'm the bitey girl.
I'm the bitey girl. And now we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 kayaks going by. So yeah, cool beans. But yeah, we'll message Josh and Cece here and see if they're coming in here. One thing's for sure is we need diesel, so we'll go grab some diesel over there, and yeah, and then we'll figure it out. That fuel dock is like, people wrote like would not recommend going if your sailboat, can be done but not recommended. Yeah, no shit. Anybody that comes here, like, unless you can turn on a dime and you have an insane amount of fenders, like the dock A is like 15 feet high and there's like metal and shit everywhere, like, yeah. I mean, if you're a powerboat and you really need that much fuel, probably, but I'll do 2 or 3 runs like this and not risk going there with Sitka. And there's like pangas everywhere, so you'd have to wait, and like there's literally no room there. You have like maybe 50 feet around you, that's about it.
Yeah, that's
I mean, if you have a bow thruster and a spade, rudder and a fin keel maybe, but, or you're like just Captain Ron levels of like fun awesomeness, and you don't care about getting your boat wrecked, then go right ahead. But yeah, this is easy enough. We didn't even like it's so shitty that like the spot that we like preferred beaching our dinghy and just walking around to it, which was super convenient because it's right there actually.
Yeah.
The water's actually crystal clear over there at the beach. It's quite nice. But it's like that super thick granular sand, like thick brown sugar, so like the dinghy wheels don't even work, they just dig in. So it's a little bit of a struggle to pull it up. But this nice little teenager girl that was on one of the pangas gave us a bit of a hand, so that was super nice. Locals are 99.9% of the time freaking amazing. Like, yeah. In Canada, like very rarely would somebody go out of their way to come help you like that anyways. So that was super cool.
I was going to start off by saying that we woke up from the worst sleep of our lives. But that implies that we fell asleep in the first place, which is 100% inaccurate. This washing machine of an Anchorage definitely left its imprint on us, in the most absurd and torturous way. We still talk about this Anchorage months later in real life, and I'm sure even years later we will always look back on it and chuckle, as it was the absolute worst Anchorage we ever experienced to this day. The creaking of the wooden floorboards, mixed with the haunting sound of clanging wine glasses and banging plates, both of which echoed in my mind for hours. We've been at sea in some large enough swell, but this comes into no comparison. As I peek out the portholes and see nothing but ocean and then sky, and then back to ocean, and then back to sky again, I contemplate my life choices and why the hell I signed up for something so unbearably uncomfortable. I try to recall all the great and life-changing memories in this very moment, to just remind myself why this is the best way of living, but for whatever reason, they're all a blur to me right now. That might be from the extreme lack of sleep, or just my mind slowly slipping into madness.
Sitka has transformed herself in some sort of medieval torture machine. And she is making me mad.
Oh.
This is like ludicrous.
I think that was probably the worst night we've ever had on this boat.
The worst night I've had in 7 years on this boat. Like, bar none. Like, nothing comes even close. This is what it feels like when, like, a giant powerboat comes and washes you with a wake, and you're like, everything goes swinging, and it lasts like 1 second. Well, this has been like this for like, since like the afternoon yesterday.
So, I don't know, what would you say, maybe half an hour of your eyes actually closing and sleeping?
Yeah, maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah, upwards to an hour if we're lucky. That night was, I actually can't even form words right now. Pretty much, we would get up and we'd have to pump our bilge with a manual switch. And then we would stuff everything. Like, I'm talking, like, I have coasters and paper towel in between the plates. We have, like, we organize cups so they wouldn't bang. We have stuffies in between the sauces.
By the way, none of this bangs when we're sailing at 7 knots in freaking seas. Like,
Yeah.
this is just, yeah, we're in a medieval torture machine right now. That's what's fucking.
We have pillows stuffed there so shit wouldn't rattle. It's actually, like, it's insane. I took a coffee pot or a coffee can that we keep in the fiberglass locker, and I stuffed it in our quarter berth because I was banging too. It was just like, I was just running around throwing shit everywhere. It was horrible. Like, this is crazy. It is.
You should show them Atlas mass out there.
Yeah. Holy crap. Oh, the winches almost went in the water. Jesus. Yeah.
They're cutting boards that survive all night just went fly. Like, what is this?
I can't even walk outside. I'm not even joking. I almost fell.
Did a boat go by? Is it just like...
No, nothing. There's nothing that went by.
Is Atlas swinging too?
Oh, it's insane. I think they're worse than us because their bottom slaps so much.
Yeah.
Like, you should see them. Who wants to live on a boat now?
Alright guys, well, it is still rolly, but it's calmed down quite a bit, but we've just had it. And it's not like we can just lift up and go to another anchorage, because like all the anchorages here are exposed to the same swells that this anchorage is. And the one marina here looks pretty ghetto. Also, the comments are terrible, 1-star ratings. And unless you're there at high tide, Sitka doesn't get in and out of there. So we don't want to go there because A, it's not a realistic approach for us, and we have to leave tomorrow morning, not tide dependent. So we just got to dip so we can cross the Tehuantepec Gulf because we have a good window. So yeah, so we're gonna stay here one more night. Hopefully it's better. It's starting to be a bit better right now, but it was like calm like this yesterday morning, actually calmer than this when we got here. So we're gonna go ashore right now. I need to use internet. I need to download the charts for Chiapas area. I also want to do final checks for Weber, and I gotta contact the marina in Chiapas because there's no anchoring in Chiapas. It's just a marina, like I've explained before. So I gotta call them. I already talked to them a few weeks ago, but now I gotta tell them like, hey, we'll be there Thursday morning if everything goes right. So that's our plan. We're gonna go ashore, lick our wounds a bit. And for those who have never sailed before, never been on a sailboat, like these anchorages that are this rolly are like horrendous. Like this is like way worse than being at sea. Like this is like being at sea in a freaking giant storm. Like I've spent 3 days, 3.5, almost 4 days, hove to in a Cat 4 hurricane on the way to Hawaii. And it was honestly similar to being on this boat right now at anchor. Like it was bad. Like gunnel to gunnel, things flying everywhere. Like things that never clank around at sea and heavy seas too. Just banging and bashing. And the dinghy was like tied, well, not really lashed at deck, but still tied bow and aft, and it went sideways. Like it's just shittiness. So yeah, we're gonna go lick our wounds, like I said, and get some Wi-Fi somewhere. Because right now we could use our Starlink, but the problem is like we don't have it permanently mounted, so we just have it on its Starlink base, and it would just flop off the boat. So right now too, like it's just calmed enough that we can, like, we feel safe putting the dinghy in and the outboard, because we have to lower our outboard on the dinghy, and that can be quite dangerous if the boat's rolling. Like the outboard could act like a pendulum basically and swing somebody in the head, and then like that'd be no bueno. So gotta be careful with these things. And that's the one thing, like we don't have an arch to just lower the dinghy, all that stuff. So gotta do it by hand. So we gotta be safe. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's the Navy boats right there. Navy, Coast Guard, Navy.
This video is specifically for my dad, as he has a vast love for unique and old architecture, such as I do. This church is located in the main square of Huatulco and is called Iglesia de la Crucecita, which directly translates to Church of the Cross. Although I couldn't find a date anywhere on the physical building or even on the internet, I know, I'm sorry, Dad. I did find out that this church has the largest hand painting in the entire country of the Virgin of Guadalupe, with a measurement of 65 feet in length and the area of 881 square feet. Muralism is among the most important visual art movements in Mexico, and I find it absolutely breathtaking to observe.
All right, so now we're downloading our actual charts on avionics for the upcoming area. So all the way past Guatemala, and I'll show you the weather we're dealing with. So it looks like basically when we leave tomorrow, it's gonna be blowing still pretty decently in the Tehuantepec, like in the 20 knot range, gusting probably higher. And like right now there's a gale force warning in effect and storm warning in the Tehuantepec. So we're gonna leave slowly tomorrow morning and use that, because it's basically going to be coming from on our port side beam. So we're going to use the wind. Instead of going straight across, we're going to go more further west, which is kind of what we need to do, and south, sorry. And then once Wednesday hits, when the winds are way calmer, then we'll start veering.
After having figured out our plan for tomorrow to cross the Tehuantepec, we rung up our pals on Atlas and asked them to join us for a stress-free evening on the beach, before yet another sleepless night here in Huatulco. Besides this being the absolute worst anchorage to be on the hook on, the beaches were beautiful, with warm, welcoming water and fine white sand. It's been a chaotic couple of days, but join us next week as we sail across the notorious Gulf of Tehuantepec. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Sailing Sitka. Stick around for more to come. If you enjoyed, please spread the love and let us know. Special thank you to our Patreon members for making these videos possible, as well as helping our dreams come true. See you all next week.